Hey guys, what is up? Fake Nuke and Records here with a new series, starting with episode one of ranking all my CDs and reviewing all my CDs. The name might change a little bit, but as you see, I have a decent amount of CDs behind me, and a couple more not behind me. Sorry, I'm looking at like the camera over here to see if I can where I can point, or that way. Um, but yeah, I'm here to actually do every CD I own review, and I'm not letting myself buy another CD until I do review them all. So today we're gonna start off with a fun one, I think, that I really, really want to review, and an album I really, really love. We're gonna be talking about "In an Airplane Over the Sea" by Neutral Milk Hotel. Now, this album released in February of 1998, and honestly, I know I'm usually not a, you know, I'm not usually your big indie guy or anything like that. But this album, I got the CD right here, of course, really cool, striking. I will say, a big thing about all the art on here, very striking, very different than a lot of albums. And I think it's probably one of the more iconic album covers of all time. I think it's a great album. Um, let's just talk about it. Um, this album, honestly, is one of those uh kind of genre bending albums that it's got your classic indie tropes of having like a more acoustic, um, almost folk esque style of rock in it. But it mixes some punk in there. You got instrumentals like The Fool. Um, you have great multi part songs like King of Carrot Flowers, parts 1 through 3. And then you got, some really. You don't have anything like super long, I guess, other than "Oh Calmly," which is a great song. Um, but really, this album is just one of those that strikes me deep. Like since I've listened to the whole album, it's really one of those ones that strikes me deeply, and I know why. This is probably one of the paramount indie albums to ever come out. Of course, came out in the '90s, so it's overall a weird time of music. I don't think you get a lot of that grungy more style in this album. Like it's a darker, more like it feels dark. I guess I don't know how dark it actually is overall, based on how they wanted to make it, I guess. But it's got like a kind of weird, eerie tone to it. Um, but I will say this album has really fun choruses, um, and not saying fun, I guess really catchy choruses, but they still don't break away from being like, oh my god, this is too poppy that it's unbearable. Like that kind of indie stuff. Like I'm not a big fan of that where it's, hey, this I love this indie band that makes all the same pop songs all the time, and it's like, well, is that really indie? Um, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess an indie is kind of a weird genre to even like put anything into because you think indie independent is the meaning of it. It's kind of like punk and pop punk, where like pop punk doesn't really fit the I- ideological um ideological kind of the idea of punk does not go with pop punk. You're supposed to be more away from the system, and then pop punk is, hey, we're making it for the masses. Punk is supposed to be more of a niche thing, I'd say. Even though I definitely think punk is probably one of the bigger genres of all time. I think there's a lot of people who really really like punk nowadays. Even back in the day when you had a bunch of bands coming out like Black Flag and stuff like that. But this album, I think, really breaks itself away. This is kind of its own thing. Like it is, I guess, indie in a sense, but man, they are fucking awesome. Uh, sorry, I was like looking over, because I just have the track listing through Spotify over the side, and I was like UK experimental metal band. I was playing another song, and I was like, what? That's not Neutral Milk Hotel. But yeah, I would say they are heavily experimental. I don't know. I don't think metal's the right word for them though. But I do love that in this album, you go through a lot of these songs and like the multi-parters, like Two Headed Boy. Well, King Hair Flower is kind of its own thing, but like Two Headed Boy, part 1 and 2 are so different. Like one feels like a more upbeat, like more. I don't even know. It's so hard to like say, because genres are so. I don't want to make this like a philosophy video about how fucking genres work, but just a different, like really different sound. Like you kind of get a more upbeat sound when you listen to Two Headed Boy, and then Two Headed Boy Part Two is like just way different, and I'd say more uh darker. I'd say I don't even know if that's the right word, but overall, this is 11 songs for over about 40 minutes, and honestly, I don't think there's like any misses. There's no songs I don't like on this album. It's an album that I like listening all the way through. I'll tell you that. Not that it's bad. Like I can listen to some of these songs by themselves, but I just fucking this album as a whole is just one of those albums that puts together so well. And I think there's almost nothing that comes close to it in terms of like albums that have come afterwards. Like I can't think of something like this unique and experimental. Like you get weird parts in this that are like, yeah, you wouldn't think most people like that. Like the whole fucking uh the Jesus Christ I love you part. The vocals are kind of all over the place too. Like there's some vocals that, would be not I would say not commercial friendly vocals, and it still kicks ass. Like I still love those songs. Like it's almost like has aspects of like the almost I want to say the second half of the wall, like disc 2 of the wall. It kind of reminds me of that, where it's like you got these weird stuff. Like it's such a like the wall is such a popular album, but it's got some weird stuff on it that wouldn't be for the masses. I think this is the same thing where you got stuff that is like this is cool, and I think a lot of people will like it. But then you have other stuff you're like, wow, this is kind of weird, and I don't know if anybody would like it. But it seems like no matter what, like the artisticness of these albums have stood through the test of time, and I don't know, I just love it, and I really want to make a video about it. So that's why this is my first CD I'm doing of my CD collection. I'm gonna give this a 9.5 out of 10. I want to say. But yeah, let's see where we can rank it on my. I don't know. You know what? 10 out of 10. This is 10 out of 10 album. Fuck it. We're starting off super hot. I think this is 10 out of 10 album. So yeah, let's meet you at the tier list, and we'll talk about it over there too. All right, guys, here we are with the first ranking. Where do we stick it? Where do we stick a 10 out of 10 album? I probably should have rated it when I stuck it in here. But yeah, this one's going to S tier. I think it's pretty easy. I am super happy or super excited to see how it goes from here. So, starting easy with Neutral Milk Hotel and S. I think this is a great album. Like I said, it's honestly more. I will say it's more of a recent listen, probably the last 5 years, or 4 years probably. I've started listening to this album, and it's just every time it's grown on me, and I really love it. So that's all for today, though, guys. If you want to keep up with me ranking, reviewing all my CDs I own, because I'm not allowed to buy any more before I review them all, and listen, because honestly, a big part of this is I've listened to some of the CDs I bought. I bought CDs all the time, just like, I really want to listen to this. And I've just never listened to them. So this is kind of getting me to listen to all my shit too. So that's all for today, though, guys. If you want more, stay tuned, subscribe, like this video, and turn your notification bell on for more videos. This is going to be a pretty frequent series. But thank you all very much for watching. That's all for today. Peace.